Welcome back. I thought this would be a good place to explain what I meant by disabling the DLCs. So, yeah, there's a top level menu here called DLC. We disable Brave New World and we disable Gods and Kings. Hit OK. Take a moment. A few moments, I suppose. All right, so we're going to load a quick save. And hopefully this means that the policies will have the correct text loaded. I think this is a more of a this is a scenario issue more than anything because the enhanced user interface I think overrides some of the way that text loads. So anyway, let's I'm sure I went back and reviewed the old footage, the previous segment, just for my own reference, and let's see. There's probably some nitpicks that somebody would notice that I'm a nitpicker myself. So let's see. Unhappiness from every monument, temple, and monastery. So what I said in the previous segment was that these were local happiness, but it may surprise you that but these are global happiness, which means that their happiness can exceed the population of a city. So like if I had five local happiness in the city, and then I purchased a temple or built a temple, I would have six happiness, or you know, it would. And the same thing for walls and castles. Castles also count for this honor policy. See, walls, castle, arsenal, military base. Yeah, so all the defensive buildings in pre-DLC honor they give +1 global happiness, and it does, it doesn't say local or global. Pretty sure that the concept of local and global still existed because Colosseums seem to act that way. But yeah, so that's extra incentive. Now the thing is that castles and walls, well, castles in particular, take a lot of production, and so do temples. So it's more the kind of thing you would buy, but we're not going to be really annexing any cities. And so I remembered what the glitch was with enhanced user interface, and that is you want to disable quick movement when capturing a civ's last city. Of course, you could go through all the trouble of disabling enhanced user interface and like reloading the whole game, but that would take a lot longer, and we're um, you know eliminating 8 civilizations. That's a lot of hassle. This is an easier trick. And oh, another thing to nitpick, I think I was quibbling over, was it 9 or 10 civs? I guess 9 if you count the Mongols. But yeah, it was right in front of me, and I didn't even, I totally forgot this was here. So yeah, 8, soon to be 7 civs to eliminate. Let's see.
ถึงแม้เราจะแพ้แต่เกียรติของเราจะดำรงอยู่ตลอด
Yep. So the problem with enhanced user interface, if you don't turn on quick movement when doing this, and I don't even think it's 100% reliable, but it's the only workaround that I found that's convenient. So I want to create a puppet. I've in the past I've tried to scheme a way to not keep this city because it kind of sucks, but it does have gold. It has 2 horses. It has 5 iron, which is better than having no iron. You need iron for long swordsmen. I think some players may not even build swordsmen or long swordsmen, but there's certain. I mean, certainly you would want it for frigates later. They're very helpful. It's very helpful having frigates. And I did not. Oh, another nitpick. I did not assign production focus. I'm pretty sure it works the same way in pre-DLC as it does in Brave New World. But yeah, that's another micro management, pile micro thing that I haven't been doing. But now I am, and I didn't micro that on the previous turn. So yeah, this is. Oh, another thing I nitpick. I said I couldn't afford unit what I meant was like I didn't want to buy a unit. I could afford it. I could have afforded an archer at the time, but I just didn't want to buy one because I prefer to build them. And now I might pay the price. We'll see. So when you eliminate a civ, you get 1,000 free gold, and you get free tech. And as I was alluding to earlier, we want engineering, and that's why I chose not to research any of it. It's kind of like spying in Brave New World. You know, you don't really want to work on a tech you're going to get for free anyway. Possible. So working on sailing, um, pretty much zero benefit. Yeah, I mean, coastal's not really much of a developed thing in DLC. Oh, the other thing is that the other aspect of that glitch is that if you don't uh, if you don't turn on quick movement, it also screws up your city production queues. Like you will not be able to choose production. So keep that in mind. It's very simple thing to do. Of course, you could just turn off enhanced user interface. I'm stubborn. I don't want to turn it off. I like playing with it. Just do a little dance here so that yeah, we can in fact use bridges now. Great. Said I'm gonna live with misclicks. I guess I'm living with misclicks. Hopefully that guy doesn't die. Con in. Pillage for money. You don't get any benefits for pillaging in terms of health, free DLC. Hopefully we don't regret this. Let's see. Oh, I can kill that guy. It's the advantage of having a lot of horse archers. Oh, and that was what I was going to say. This guy still has like 1.5, well, one movement. The thing is that the risk in sort of the auto garrisoning of these units is that you may forget about them. You may, because they're not going to, it's not going to ask you how you want to move them the next turn, you know. So it's you gotta watch. You don't want your guys getting stuck in some city that's burning. I mean, if the city burns, if the city raises to the ground, like if this, you can't raise Beijing, but let's say we were raising Laoyang and we had a Keshik stuck in it, the Keshik would activate once the raising had finished. But if it takes 5 turns to raise, that's a Keshik you're not able to use for 5 turns because you forgot about them. So yeah, no Keshiks left behind if you can help it. Let's see. So on the micro front, we got a worker capturing Laoyang, and it's kind of random whether or not they managed to get this gold online. Most of the time, they seem to not. But we're gonna have to do it ourselves. But one priority is that we need roads in Korea. Some people opt to capture Korea. I don't really want it. I don't really want it. Oh, I was circling back to what I was going to say. In the past, I wanted to like raise Daoyang because I thought you could use great generals to Citadel and acquire. You could just take Korea, Citadel, and grab this iron, and Citadel and grab these horses. But turns out you can't. Oh, and also the gold. You can't do that pre DLC. You need great artists to do culture bombs. Great generals can only build citadels, and they do not claim new territory. Really, it's a bummer, but it is what it is. Of course, if you hack the game file, the scenario files, there's a way to like make it so that it uses the Brave New World or Gods and Kings DLC pack. I would argue that's not playing the scenario as intended, but it is. I've done it before. It's kind of fun and different, but we're playing by the rules. We're trying to not do any exploits, cheats, etc. So Beijing is kind of a crappy city. It has unimproved grassland river tiles, which in pre-DLC these give gold. River tiles give gold. All of them do. Um, and it has this beautiful cattle tile here that it doesn't want to use. It will pretty much never use it unless it runs out of gold tiles or other crappy tiles to work. It's totally inexplicable, but so we're going to it's easy to get out of hand trying to do this too much, but I want to speed up these walls because again, look how much we have 2 production in here. Chopping this forest will give us 10 turns worth of production. And then I can put a trading post. If that's a hill, I think. Unfortunately, they don't usually work. It's kind of hit or miss whether they work hill trading posts or not. Oh. Yeah, so chose poorly, my pikeman friend. So let's see, what do I want to do here? Do I want to go here? I kind of want to see if there's a barb camp up there. And the pro move, if you want to have a little bit of extra delay in trying to keep barbarians up your silver, would be to buy these 2 tiles. Or, let's see. You get away with buying one of them? Not really. They got established between these 2. So yeah, I could have when I don't know. I don't remember where the pikemen showed up, but I may have been able to keep them off. But they didn't pillage it to begin. That's what I meant by the AI is a little different pre DLC. So our horseman finally got 30 experience. So what do we want? It's tempting to go these, but usually the visibility is better, especially when going up against, say, Persia. You can see there are really annoying units coming down the road more easily, and also get vision for firing on their cities more easily. Okay, well, managed to survive, Mr. Crate. Great. Yeah, so it's the rope. We're trying to get to 100 experience, but we're 7 turns away. I'm kind of doing this as an anti-pattern. Like normally I would take the faster experience policy, but I've done it both ways before, and I just wanted to show that it's possible to do it both ways. It's a little bit harder, admittedly, to do it the way I'm doing it, but you know. So let's take a look at what it looks like over in Korea. How many units do they have? It's going to be really annoying. See, oftentimes the Jin dynasty, and that's another nitpick I wanted to address, is that I was calling them Jin or Jin as if they were a person, and I just a brain fart. Like I know that the Jin dynasty is a thing, was a thing, but sometimes I get it into my head that that's the guy's name, that's Jin is the ruler for some reason. So we all know that they're Ram, even though it's not. It would be totally anachronistic. But yeah. Markets. We got, let's see, this is level 4. 3. yeah, they'll get their level 4 next turn. Ashik's still in behind, but yeah, this city's tapped out. It's not like, oh, I'm not really thinking here. I need to get this guy down here. Doesn't really have time to rest. Yeah, okay. So again, we're by a bunch of roads, so I'm trying to very carefully assess whether we can put this horseman somewhere safe. Because I don't want these Keshiks hanging around the edge too much either. Put them in here, and I guess I can't put that. I was thinking I could put them to set them to heal, to fortify till healed or whatever, but I guess I'll just have to keep track of them. Let's see, so I can't take the city till next turn. Kind of a glitchy lag thing going on. Yeah. So I guess what we'll do is we'll just kind of stay out of sight in a moment. Oh, and I can send the Berke up to heal. Because they'll heal 3 in the city, plus 2 from the Khan. They should be ready in 2 turns. Not the most exciting stuff, but what is? Okay. Oh, and I meant to put this guy on gold. Not that they would have had the movement to get there in 1 turn anyway, but nice to see, get scope this out and see what this looks like. Because I guess when they don't go to war, they just kind of just spam units. Some of these city-states can be quite frightening in the late game. Like Western Shah will just, I mean, once these other cities get raised, its borders will fill out, and it has an army strength that is higher than mine the way they enter the scenario sometimes. But maybe if you continue playing for another 20 turns or so, it will frightening army of riflemen. Let's see. So what did I build? Yeah. So since I didn't get a knight from Western Shah, and we kind of are strained on capture units anyway, we'll get a rough terrain promotion. Horsemen. Start sending them southward. Now, technically, you don't really need to give these guys give the horsemen a lot of rest. Like, they can take a city even if they're at one HP, as long as you reduce the city's HP down to 1. Probably a lot of people already know that, but I would imagine anyone watching this probably already knows that. It bears keeping in mind that these guys can just keep marching on. So that's another glitch that happens sometimes, and I don't know if turning off quick movement or turning off quick movement fixes or helps that. I feel like I've seen it happen before, but this city, this works out fine because I didn't want to puppet the city anyway. I want to raise this city to begin with. Get rid of that granary. And now we're at -12 happiness, which, yeah. So what do we do? I talked about spending gold on buildings. Maybe I will spend some gold on circus. Coliseum. So next question would be, what kind of build some warriors maybe? I can upgrade warriors to swordsman, and then I could probably put one in here as a garrison in Laoyang. Anyway, I got rid of the combat debuff just by buying a few buildings, and we didn't have any real strong sources of happiness in Karakorum anyway. But now we're mostly we're more or less covering the lion's share of the unhappiness for population in Karakorum. Yeah, we could build walls. I think I'm gonna build a warrior. All right, I already chose it, I suppose. But um, I think what I'll do is I'll build a warrior, and then I'll build a scout, maybe just to get a glimpse at where these barb camps are. I usually build like one scout just to identify them, and then hunt them down, because we don't. If they're close by here, it's a problem. But if there's a whole bunch of like hills and forests and really rough terrain up here, and if barb camps spawn up here, they kind of get confused, and yeah, they might come down and bother you occasionally, but it takes them forever to get down here in the first place, and there's only 100 turns in this scenario. So now what? And the glitch I was talking about. This city, when I captured it, it did not bring up a dialogue box. So this is a well-known happiness glitch where it's an exploit basically if you don't play honestly. Like, you will continue to capture cities, and they basically do not contribute any unhappiness to your empire. And what you'll find is that if you finish or quit the game or whatever, and then you save, you come back, that you're just suddenly very unhappy. And I just don't want to play like that. It's fine. It's technically not. It's technically fine, but I just. It's definitely not how the game was intended to be played. And when we start raising this city, because this city is pretty worthless. Most of these cities are pretty worthless. We will probably legitimately take. We might make peace, because I think there's only like their capital in the southern city. And there's probably another city down here actually. I have to remember. Refresh my. We're gonna scope it out. Let's see. Where do I? Markets is kind of boxed them in. I guess I'll just cross the river. Also, I've been opportunistically pillaging improvements from Kaifeng for extra gold. This will hover properly. Trading post, yeah. Get that trading post. If I go out of my way next turn, maybe I can get the spices. So someone watching may wonder why I didn't keep Kaifeng when I said, if a city offers unique luxury, it's worth keeping. Well, the problem is that spices can be obtained in other cities. There's a city down here, Chengdu. I think that has it, and we don't want that one either. But Delhi, India's capital, we will eventually have theirs. We got one happiness back from making this a garrison. Okay. Okay, let's see. Maybe, just maybe, this guy will be able to take Xi'an next turn. Now we're with three great generals, and it's starting to get to the point where I'm not really sure what to do with them. But I'll hold on to them for the moment anyway. Another thing that we will run up on, and we already be there, I guess we're not, is that there's a concept in Civ, including Civ 5 vanilla pre-DLC and Civ all the other and with DLCs is unit supply. So because we are acquiring cities and raising them, our unit supply is fluctuating. So once we take all these cities and they're all gone, and then we're maybe momentarily at peace until we attack our next target, we may be facing production penalties for having too many units. So if it comes to that, I'll burn that great general just for the fact that I don't need 3 of them. And the unit supply production penalties, it gets worse the more units you have, up to like negative 70%. So what are our priorities here? We want a road here. Eventually go through here. We want normally I prioritize a road to Korea at the very least. I probably your workers should always be doing something. And it's usually not productive to just delete the units either. Delete the workers either. It's somewhat context dependent. Oh, and I goofed there. I need to pay up. We don't need to, but if I don't, see how much gold she has. 1120. Yeah. There's a reason that I want to hold on to them. Probably next turn. Or okay, I start checking periodically to see if they're peace deals are getting any juicier. Stupid bug again. I actually need to reload to get that to go away. If you raise, I mean, just because I raised the city doesn't mean that. I think that glitch is still active, even if you choose to raise. So, yeah, I'll make a cut here pretty soon. Just want to take a look at everything. Rid of that granary too. Let's see. Urkits was kind of stuck. No longer. Oh, and if you capture, if you still have movement left over with your horsemen when you capture, you can garrison. So that you went from negative 13 to negative 12. Looking at this just to refresh my memory. It's been a while since I played this scenario. I played a lot of it a while back, a few months ago, and I've been meaning to make this series for a while. I had been meaning to make this series, but I wanted to take a break and I was doing other things. Okay, so we won't get rebels unless we hit negative 20. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. I don't want to have negative 20 happiness, or negative 13, negative 12, that negative 10 to negative 19 just gives you a combat debuff, which It's not the best, but we're not at negative 40 happiness or negative 80 or some of the absurd values that you may see. And again, we're working at a slight disadvantage because we do not have the happiness from the gold. This will help once we get this online. This city sucks too. Both Liaoyang and Beijing are not, they're not good cities. Especially, I mean, they're not good as cities, probably even if you annex them, they're not really good either. But hey, Beijing would be a little bit better because it has lots of production, lots of food potential. If happiness wasn't a concern, this would be a pretty good city. But as a puppet, it's quite uh, difficult to, because we're unhappy. You see, this is one production. Yeah, modifier front unhappiness, negative 50. But that won't last long. We'll raise this city. Both of these cities will finish raising on the same turn, in fact. So, ooh, what are you gonna give me? 1,100 gold. Hmm, that's a tempting offer. How many cities does she have left? Guangzhou, Hangzhou, Chengdu. Hmm, very tempting. However, I'll get gold myself. I don't need her gold. Pearls I really can't get any other way. Spices, I won't have a reliable. I don't care about open borders. I don't want her iron. I think I'm gonna pass for the moment. I think I want to leaving her with 4 cities. Like if I include her capital, this city. There's another like buffer city here, and then there's a city on the southern coast that has pearls, and there's a city over here called Chengdu that has like spices and silk. And I want to eliminate at least one more of her cities before moving on to India, because like she'll just, I wouldn't say I'm afraid of her, but she'll build a big army. She'll have lots of money, and if she meets Japan, they may even cooperatively declare war. Now we have the Great Wall, so I mean, it's practically it's a joke for them to try to attack, this city in particular. They're not smart enough to go through Western Shaw, as far as I can tell. In past experience, like they seem to just go for Beijing, and yeah, so it's a tempting offer, but the way she's accruing gold, I think I can get a better offer in a turn or two, but I could be wrong. But anyway, I'm gonna make a cut just so I can fix this glitch with the happiness. Like when you capture cities, it's not properly tabulating happiness.